Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Force Strategy Gaming. Another commentary for you today. Today's matchup will be between IMMvp and eXoPolyGon. We can see right now IMMvp spawning here in the bottom right position as our red Terran player, and here is eXoPolyGon as the blue Protoss here in the bottom left. So yes, it is Tuesday, so we'll just be doing some regular old StarCraft 2 commentaries today. Also today we'll be uploading the Terran strategy video that was supposed to be coming up yesterday. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it was the 4th of July. I was doing crap, so you guys just had to deal with the delayed video. I apologize. I will typically make sure to try to get everything out on the scheduled day. But yes, alas, the Terran strategy video is coming up, so you'll have that up today, a few commentaries, and then we'll move on into the rest of the week. So yeah, pretty exciting. Looking forward to this matchup. IMMvp, of course, a fairly well-known player. eXoPolyGon, also a very strong player as well. We'll be looking forward to seeing how he performs in this game. Whole bunch of chatter going on between the two players, none of which I can understand, but it's not a big deal. I'm sure they're just chatting it up about the trials and tribulations of a professional StarCraft player. We got the MVP coming out right now with that first Rax. We do want to keep an eye on as to whether or not he does decide to go for a gas around 13, and there we go. So MVP is dropping the gas at 13 supply. So far everything has looked pretty standard for him. Back over here inside of Polygon space, looking relatively standard as well. We do want to keep an eye also on his second gas timing, see if he's going for some very early gas, maybe Sentry heavy type of fast expand build. All sorts of techie builds are certainly options, so we will keep an eye on that just to have a clear indication as to what he is doing. Finally, Scout moving out right now. eXoPolyGon will be the first to scout. That's going to be typically the case in a TVP matchup, simply because of the fact that since Terran players, of course, have to build with their workers, they don't usually scout out as early as Protoss players do. So there goes the Probe Scout passing right by the SCV Scout. I don't believe, yes, the SCV Scout did not spot it, so MVP not spotting where that probe was coming from, actually still headed up north. But here comes the first Marine, and Polygon very dangerously close to losing that probe. Managed to pull it back, though, just in the nick of time, so MVP's micro wasn't enough to take him out. He was following back in this direction, expecting the probe to move continuously, but instead we saw eXoPolyGon pull back with the probe, and that pulled it just out of the range of that Marine. We have the probe grabbing the Xel'Naga tower, and he will be spotting the Marine continuously heading in the wrong direction. So MVP, again, still not aware of exactly where eXoPolyGon is at the moment. Still some more chatter, and it looks like a fast expand build will be coming out for MVP. Going Reactor first for those heavy early Marines. He can apply some aggression, but I'm going to be just expecting a 2 Rax quick expand build. A very popular tactic. You see two variations, either the Marine heavy one that we're seeing here for MVP with Reactor first, or sometimes you'll see Tech Lab first for a quicker concussive shell, and that's going to allow for some early aggression. Back over here, eXoPolyGon does have that second assimilator up. Looks like he will be chrono boosting out. That warp gate research still just sitting with the 1 gateway, so let's keep an eye on any additional gateways that he does decide to drop. There is 2 and 3. And I think that'll do it. I think we'll probably be seeing a 3-gate expand. I do not really expect a 4-gate from eXoPolyGon. Very risky, not really the most effective. An SCV Scout trying to move in with that force field, and then the Sentry dealing enough damage to actually take it out, though, before he moved in and got that scouting information. So yes, we will be seeing a Sentry-heavy fast expand build here from eXoPolyGon. That 3-gate expand, certainly very solid, great decision by him. We can see MVP right now is out with that heavy Marine build, is coming out with that Combat Shield first. Combat Shield research time much shorter than the Stim Pack, so this will actually allow him to possibly do a somewhat early timing push. Now we do see the Scout coming out right now for eXoPolyGon, moving across the map, back here inside the main. Again, just those 3 gateways. Warp Gate research has just finished, and there is that expansion. So yes, eXoPolyGon going with the expansion now. Very sneaky here. MVP moving across the backside, and we can see the Probe Scout here for eXoPolyGon, primarily used to see if any pushes are coming, but he's not scouting down here. Is he going to check it out? No, he cannot see it. MVP hugging just along the edge with his unit, so still eXoPolyGon is not aware. Now, although MVP will not be able to break into the main base here of eXoPolyGon because of these sentries, he can still do a bit of damage to, oh no, double force fields there, trapping MVP's units in, and the sentries and stalkers able to do a bit of damage. MVP really can't do anything about that. Is he going to escape? No, still can't escape. So very nice play there by eXoPolyGon, trapping in MVP's units, forcing him to engage, and obviously eXoPolyGon in the stronger position here, being able to warp in right inside of his main base. So very nice play there. Unfortunately for MVP, that attack did not go nearly as he had hoped. I almost really hoped that he had just stayed out and started to kind of work on this expansion. Although he probably wouldn't have killed it off because we would have seen eXoPolyGon move out. He still could have done a bit of shield damage, and that would have made it a little weaker for a second engagement, maybe around the 9 or 10 minute mark. So we can see right now MVP retreating back to his main base. Here's that expansion. Obviously a little bit late. He was really focused on that engagement and on that push, and now he really needs to be worried about defending himself. He needs to focus on defending himself rather, because a counterattack is likely, and as we can see right now, eXoPolyGon is in fact moving out with that right now. So here comes that counter aggression. MVP will be much further behind eXoPolyGon in terms of that expansion for two reasons. Not only did he start building it later, but with eXoPolyGon sitting right outside of the main base, I mean, he can honestly just keep him force fielded in and prevent that expansion from going down. So MVP will want to just continue saturation here on the main, and then of course get this orbital taken care of. But this is not looking too good for MVP, so we will have to keep an eye on how he decides to break this. We do have that factory coming out, so obviously medevacs are his next planned transition. We'll be going factory into starport, coming out with some medevacs that will allow him to leave his base, and then also maybe do some counter drop harassment. We have stim pack coming close to finish right now. Also reactor on this third racks there. The command center finally finished right now, transferring into an orbital command, and here comes a push actually from eXoPolyGon, moving right up into the main. There are the force fields, and MVP's units are trapped. Zealots doing what they can, but they're actually not enough zealots. So certainly a great idea by eXoPolyGon, but not quite enough zealots to completely mop up everything MVP had. Still though, even that, look at that, just doing a little bit of damage and then retreating back right outside of the main to continue up this kind of force field wall in that I'm sure he's planned on doing, although MVP hasn't even bothered to try to push out because he knows to expect that, so wants to keep his units as safe as possible. Do have a Forge and Twilight Council coming out, so we may very well be seeing Charged Zealots. Blink Stalkers are possible. That I'm almost expecting Charged Zealots instead. Second Forge as well, so maybe coming out with some double upgrades. Very interesting. Force Field getting placed, not really the most necessary of things. He did kill off that one Marine though. Again, Proxy Pylon ready to warp in any additional units. We have another probe dropping an additional Proxy Pylon over here in this position as well, but there we go. Starport finally up. So here come the medevacs, and finally MVP will be allowed to leave his base. There's a stim pack, and the Marine will be trying to work down the sentry, but not enough DPS from that Soul Marine, and the sentry will be forced to retreat right now. Finally MVP allowed to leave his base. We can see right now eXoPolyGon moving back to his natural. We do have the charge upgrade, the level 1 armor, and level 1 weapon, so going to be sitting very gateway heavy. Polygon. Now, a lot of times you, of course, see Protoss players move into Colossus play, maybe a little bit too concerned of the fact that Vikings could be on the map very shortly, deciding not to do that and sticking just gateway heavy right now. So those double 1-1 upgrades coming out very soon for eXoPolyGon. Obviously, will be making his units much stronger than that of MVP. MVP sitting at 0-1 right now. He does have the level 1 armor coming up though, and here comes a push from MVP. He does have one medevac out. Will be moving out with this small army, certainly capable of doing a bit of damage. We do finally have a reactor down. I expect that factory to get lifted off, of course, and the starport to get transplanted onto that Stim Marine, moving forward for some scouting information. And here comes the push. Needs to be careful though of those force fields. Certainly does not want to lose half his army unnecessarily. Doing a little bit of damage, then retreating, and we can see again both armies just kind of tentative, waiting to engage. Now MVP just wants to break through this choke. At that point, force fields aren't going to be as effective. An additional warping of a lot of zealots, and the charge has just finished. So MVP in kind of a scary position right now. Those charged zealots plus a few force fields could be pretty devastating. We can say MVP is actually retreating right now back to his main. I'm guessing, yes, he has scouted out the proxy pylon, so he will be taking care of those very quickly, and no counterattack quite as of yet. eXoPolyGon just trying to get a little bit of map control here at the middle. I'm also dropping some of those pylons to replace those that he did just lose. So MVP will of course push, be going Marine Marauder Medevac, obviously fairly standard. We do have that floating factory. Hopefully that gets used for some scouting, possibly moving in to check this third. Certainly wouldn't be a bad idea. Now we do have the regular stalkers. They are not blink stalkers. Blink research is not coming through either, although we did just have a ton of High Templar coming into play. Storm research hasn't quite started yet though. Nice scan though by MVP, spotting those High Templar, and he realizes maybe now would be the time to push before those High Templar accumulate too much energy, but not even bothering. He's going straight for Archon. Very interesting play by eXoPolyGon. Those Archons, of course, being massive units, won't be effective by those concussive shells, and we'll be able to roll right up on the army of MVP. MVP moving forward with one Marine, doing a little bit of scouting here and walking suicidally into the main army of eXoPolyGon. We can see eXoPolyGon is trying to come out with his third right now. A couple of cannons here as stationary defense as well. And again, MVP doing nothing but Marine Marauder Medevac, but again, it works, so why not? Now, no Medevacs coming out right at the moment. A couple of Ghosts coming into play, so MVP will be transitioning into Ghosts. Those EMPs will be very crucial for dealing with those High Templars. And eXoPolyGon trying for another proxy pylon. Is he going to be able to cancel it in time? No. eXoPolyGon does not cancel that, so losing that, that is unfortunate. He really had that opportunity to take care of that before he got dropped, but oh well. We do finally have the Storm research coming through right now for eXoPolyGon, so he will be able to use some of that. Now again, here comes a push from eXoPolyGon, sitting pretty Archon heavy and a lot of Charged Zealots, a couple of sentries mixed in there as well to those force fields to help. Wow, look at this spread from MVP. This is beautiful. His units just all over the place, and this will certainly help him quite a bit in dealing with Storm, but I don't know if he's expecting Archons, but the Archons are in fact coming. One Zealot moving forward for a little bit of scouting. Stalkers moving forward as well, trying to engage the Marine. Marines pulls back though. A couple Marauders and Marines moving forward to engage, but the Stalker army of eXoPolyGon will force that retreat. So eXoPolyGon looking to be in a solid position right now. He's actually making himself a secondary entry into MVP's natural expansion right there. Will allow him to move up that ramp, maybe just moving a few Charged Zealots down there to kind of swoop up on the backside, just in case MVP decides to pull forward and engage. Nice spread again, and that Storm research is just about finished, so I will be expecting some High Templar to be able to drop some of those side storms, but again, with this nice spread, plus these Ghosts, MVP could certainly take care of that. Now moving forward with the Ghost in the front, getting ready to actually push out for an attack right now. MVP feeling pretty comfortable at this point with those Ghosts in play. He's got a fair amount of Marines and Marauders here as well, so there we go. Here comes the push. Now Polygon needs to be careful with this expansion. This is certainly a little bit vulnerable. Those two cannons not nearly enough to defend against this massive unit, so we are seeing move across the map right now for MVP. Additional reinforcements coming down. We do have some more gateways. I did see a robotics getting dropped as well for Polygon. So Polygon finally looking to move into that Robotech. But here comes the push right now. Storm nicely placed on the units of MVP. We'll be moving forward though with that one Marauder. A couple Marines here as well, trying to do a little bit of damage. We'll be trying to pick off a few units. There we go. It's dropping that one High Templar, and actually haven't lost their lives yet. Still just kind of dancing around. Needs to be careful. Those High Templar Ghosts want to pull forward. There's an EMP taking out the energy of two of those High Templar, and here comes the push, stemming up, moving right into the natural expansion. Charged Zealots moving forward to engage, and there are the force fields. This is looking pretty scary, but there are so many Marines and Marauders, and the DPS is pretty intense. Now we do have those Archons trying to do a bit of damage. Lots more reinforcements so for MVP behind that force field, and I think MVP is sitting pretty solid right now. He will be tearing through the remainder of the army here for eXoPolyGon, and eXoPolyGon is in a tough position, and it looks like he has just called the GG. MVP opened up this game with a 2 racks, going Marine heavy and an early game combat shield for a strong early push. Meanwhile, eXoPolyGon opened up with a 3-gate expand. MV pushed out with his early aggression, but with some very nice force fields, eXoPolyGon had no problem dealing with it. We're going to see trapping the Marines and Marauders inside of the main, forcing them to not be able to retreat, and this allowed eXoPolyGon to just warp in some additional units and quite handedly take care of everything MVP had. eXoPolyGon then countered and actually forced MVP to stay inside of his base with the threat of those sentry force fields cutting his army in half. As a result, MVP had to go straight up into medevacs to be able to actually break out of his base and deal with this force field contain. eXoPolyGon then moved into his third and attempted to push out towards MVP's expansion to actually help distract and protect his third expansion. However, the threat of EMP in these close quarters actually made it so that eXoPolyGon decided to retreat rather than engaging MVP. With a few ghosts in play, MVP decided it was time to attack, and we're going to see some ghosts pull forward for a nice EMP on this 2 High Templar that we're moving forward to storm. And then what happened at this point was, with some force fields, eXoPolyGon did try to trap the bio here of MVP, but MVP just had way too much, and those charged zealots weren't able to do enough damage quickly enough to tear through MVP's bio. And then that, plus the EMPs that took out those High Templar, forced eXoPolyGon to call the GG. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed this commentary. If you do, please subscribe to our channel. And as always, guys, keep watching and keep owning.